And you touched on it there with Ajax and how terrible their season has been. 3 different head coaches, 6 of the 10 players who've lost the most market value this season were Ajax players. So it's definitely a season to forget. But Kevin, I want to maybe focus on one shining light, one ray of hope for Ajax, and that is Mika Godts, the winger, who saw his market value increase from 10 million euros to 35 million euros. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's had the biggest market value increase of all Eredivisie players this season. And he's beginning to pick up a lot of attention outside of the Netherlands. Can I just start by asking you, how good has he been this season for Ajax, and how good of a player is he?
Well, he has been outstanding for Ajax. As you said, he's been one of the few bright spots. Scored a lot of goals, gave a lot of assists. So he was performing well in the Dutch league. European matches, his numbers aren't that good. So that is, he has made next steps in his development, but there is a lot of room for growth still. If he can show that he can take Ajax, you know, in European matches, if he can help them there, then he's ready for the next step. Then definitely. But for him, this season was outstanding.
Yeah, interestingly enough, when you go onto his rumour page on Transfermarkt, there are almost a dozen clubs that have been heavily linked with a move for him. One of the most recent ones was Barcelona, who just signed Anthony Gordon, so maybe we can discount their interest in him, but maybe not. Crazier things have happened. But aside from Barcelona, we have Newcastle, we have Leipzig, we have Liverpool, we have FC Bayern. Obviously, Ajax are known for a club that develop players and then tend to sell them. Do you think they could sell him this summer? And do you think they would get a big fee for him if he was to go to a Liverpool, a Bayern, or a Newcastle?
Well, I think they have to sell him this season because he's actually the only player that actually performed well. There are some youth players that are actually come up through to the ranks, but they're not quite there yet. So they still have a lot of development to do. But for Godts, it seems like he's the only Ajax player that can actually bring in some money. And because Ajax is in need of money to rebuild the side, he's actually the only player that can actually help them rebuild. So I think there's a very, very big chance that he is yeah, switching clubs this summer.
Yeah, that's interesting. So sold out of necessity rather than perhaps if he's ready to move. I mean, that was my next question. Do you think he's ready to play for a Premier League team or a top Bundesliga side perhaps, or even the likes of Barcelona? You mentioned there that maybe his performances could have been better in Europe. Is that you suggesting that he still has a lot of room to grow perhaps?
I think so. Yeah, he definitely has the talent. He has the capacities. He's a great player. He has a bright future ahead of him. But with a lot of young players from the Eredivisie, if they move too soon to a Premier League club or a Bundesliga club and they perform badly for about 2-3 matches, yeah, it's very hard to say how that impacts their career in the long term. So for a lot of young players, it's better to stay in the Netherlands for 2-3 years, to perform well, be the best in the league for 2-3 years, and then make the step to the Premier League because it's a big difference in quality. But he has the talent to make it work. So if he performs well in his first matches and he gains some momentum, then it can all work out. But since he hasn't performed exceptionally well in European matches, for his development, I think it would be best to stay in the Eredivisie for one more year. But I doubt that is how it's going to end up because Ajax really, really need the money.
Yeah, I guess my final question on that would then be, if you're thinking of the player's own well-being or the player's own development, and you're saying, okay, Ajax are definitely going to sell him no matter what this summer, do you think it'd be better for him to go to, a so-called smaller club, like, a mid-table team in the Premier League, like a Brighton or a Brentford, or maybe like a Leipzig, perhaps in Bundesliga, so he still has the space and time to develop rather than, I guess I'm just thinking for people who are watching this, who are fans of Liverpool or Bayern or Barcelona, should we be saying this guy's not quite ready for that level? Maybe he has to play for another club before he can ready to perform for a Bayern or a Liverpool in the years to come.
I think that is the best option for him. Yeah, if he goes to a Brighton or a Leipzig, a team that actually gives young players a chance, I think that will be best for him. Yeah, so Brighton and Leipzig, those are the two clubs that I had in mind that would probably be ideal for him. Maybe Newcastle as well. But I think the step to Barcelona, Bayern München, Liverpool, I think it's one step too far right now.
Yeah, well, it'll be very, very interesting to see where he does end up this summer. And if, as you said, if Ajax do intend to sell him. And as you have said throughout this segment, we should remember the pronunciation because I know for a fact here in the UK we'll mispronounce it. So just one more time, Kevin, how should we be pronouncing his name?
Mika Godts.
Godts, exactly.